Hello, hello, good morning, and happy Sunday. On a holiday weekend too. Unfortunately, my Stream Deck. So I updated OBS, then I updated my Stream Deck, and now they don't talk to each other anymore. So that's cool. And I forgot to set the right category. So let me fix that really quickly. Everything else is fine. All right, there we go. Okay, so today I want to play around with setting a global static mutable state. One of the biggest sort of, well, let's actually just jump into the game and I'll show you. One of the really cool things you can do in JavaScript, and they actually show it in several of the sample codes that they give you. Let's see, not this one. So not you. One of at least a few of them, they have you create something outside of the main loop function, which I don't remember which one that was. It's been long enough. Yeah, here, take a look at this. So we have var creep1 and creep2, and they create these as variables outside of the loop function. Now, this is JavaScript. You can do that. I mean, we don't have to create variables inside of blocks of code in JavaScript, but we do in Rust. And so when they assign creep1 and creep2 down here, it's a global variable, meaning that they create it once, they assign it here, and then later on, next time it runs, hey, it's still there, it's still running. So I want to do something like this, some way for me to just be able to, at one point in time in the game, assign things there, and then later on it's like, okay, well, I guess I just move over there. Just like grab the thing and then I just have it. I don't need to spend time querying for it again and again and again and again. And this will unlock things for me, like the ability to determine whether or not a Screep is. I know whether or not a Screep has been spawned or not. There'd be. I mean, I could do that. There'd be a lot of work every tick to sort of recheck everyone, whereas I can also maybe just throw that in, just say like, hey, let me grab your I can do like a positional map and not have to do like a huge recreation of that every single tick. There's a lot of things that'll be nice about that. Now, the problem here is that every time, because I can't store anything outside of here, we're gonna have to use a static. I haven't used a static before, but I sort of looked into it a little bit yesterday and sort of played around with it. Statics are interesting. So basically, think of statics and const are sort of in the same family here. So if we come to here, let's go into our swamp mod. Here's our made. I want, here's our game state. I kind of want to like convert this over and have game state be my big thing. I'm going to create a new one. I'm just going to call this state. So we're going to have a static. Now, when I was playing around with it, I eventually ended up on thread local because thread local allows us to run constructors and do some other fun stuff with that. So we're going to do thread local, and then we're going to do a pub static mute state. Then I have to give it the type. So this is not mutable. I can't do this as immutable. So the type is something that has interior mutability, which sounds to me like either a mutex or a ref cell. Looking at mutexes, I would need to use unsafe code to mutate them internally, and ref cell, I just need to use the borrow. Either way, not really that big of a deal. So let's do the RC ref cell. So I'm going to use you're going to be a RC with a ref cell, and then inside of that we need some kind of state struct. All right, so let's say I have like let's implement we can implement default on these. That might make sense. Let's implement default. So derive default. Okay, so RC new ref cell new, and then state. Default. Okay. So this is going to give me a local state that that exists in the thread. Because it's in JavaScript context, I don't have to worry about multi-thread stuff. That's why I can use a ref cell, an arc ref cell instead of an RC ref cell instead of an arc ref cell, or a mutex or something like that. Now, next thing, I want to start filling this with good stuff. So, to me, the first things that we see in the game are the spawns. So I'm going to want my spawn, and then the enemy spawn. But this is going to now start running before I can actually do anything, I believe. Like before I can actually run any code. So we're going to put this as... We're going to probably have a lot of options and then just unwrap these, which is unfortunate, but I think something we need to do for it. Okay, so option. Now, actually, is that true? I believe that it's true, but maybe it's not. So what if I do? I want to say that this is doing it at a compile time, but when it creates new, maybe it should do that at runtime, right? Okay, so let's try structure. Yeah, let's try this at structure spawn. Let's try this. Let's impl state. I could impl default directly to create a spawn for this. Maybe that's what we'll do. Okay, so self my spawn. So we need okay, so my spawn. So my spawn will be to extract that out. I mean, I could just filter and get like the first one. So into iterator, do a for each. Maybe into iterator, we could do a filter. Okay, so filter, we have spawn spawn.mine, unwrap our default. And then we'll collect you. I wonder if it's going to figure out what this is. So then, my spawn. I wonder if I have to clone you. Yeah, type annotations. Okay, so you are going to be a vec structure spawn. And you, okay, so cannot move out of you. That's fine. I'm going to clone you. And this is the other thing is I'm curious whether or not the clone will still let us work with the object as we sort of expect it to. All right, so that gives us a structure spawn in here, which then we store away. Okay, so far it doesn't seem to hurt us at all. What I want to do in here in run, I kind of want to just not do anything, right? So like we have my spawn, we have my side, we do all of this fun stuff. Let's not do any of this for right now. What I want to do is see whether or not maybe we can spawn a creep. So first of all, to get access to the static, because it's in a thread local, it's in that sort of thread local thing. It's very interesting. So we're gonna do state. We have to do this with. Okay. So state with, and then we get this function. We get the state out of here. So because of this, we don't really need a result. I'm just going to go ahead and turn it like that to make you happy. But okay, so now I have this state, which is that RC ref cell with the state inside. So I can now extract information from it. So let's say I wanted to, spawn a creep. Okay, let's try state dot. Okay, we're gonna borrow, and then get my spawn. Gonna spawn a creep. Body. Okay, so let's do. Parts. So these are new from Rust Analyzer. Interesting. Or is this new from Rust Analyzer, or is this new from a VS Code with how it displays it? Okay, so part. Let's just give a. We'll give a part move. This would be a that we should be able to create this no problem right at the beginning. We'll have it will stop being able to do it after like 2 or 3 of them, but that's fine. So give you. Oh, there is a result that I just don't care about at all. What we can do. I just want to see whether or not this is going to work. Okay, so we have all of you. That's working. Let's go ahead and start up. Oh, it's containers. Okay, so Screeps Arena. Let's start you and attach a shell. And in here, get you compiling into the swamp. Okay, compiled, copying, copied. So if we come back to here, we play spawn and swamp. Let's just do a test game versus an idle opponent, and let's just see. Do we create those creeps? Hey, I think we are. Okay, so we have a new creep that has a carry and 2 moves. So that's everything I needed to know. So now we can set our state at the beginning of the game to be exactly what we want it to be. So we have my spawn. My spawn spawns clothes. So this is going to be like a pretty hefty first sort of like run and first setup, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Okay, so we have my spawn, spawn 0 clone. Now, if I want to do this again, that kind of sucks, doesn't it? How do I get the opponent spawn without potentially doing another big loop through this? Because spawn.my, unfortunately, will give an option. Oh, yeah, it's an option. That's why I have to do the unwrap or default. I suppose that what I could do, we could also do a builder for it, which would give me an option, sort of intermediary option for this. I can move my spawn up also. So what if I do this? Let my spawn, let enemy spawn. This is going to be a very specific state to spawn and swamp too, which I think is going to be fine. Okay, so let spawns. I don't necessarily need to filter. We can do a for each. We get the spawn here. If spawn.my unwrap or default, this is gonna be fine. Okay, so if you are mine, then my spawn equals spawn dot, and let's just clone it out of here. Else enemy spawn. And then we don't need this collect. Borrow a possibly uninitialized variable, my spawn. Oh, so yeah, so that's a thing. I would want to do something like the out of that. You need to be mutable, right? Type annotations. Okay, so you need to be a structure spawn. Yeah, so I don't think it'll be happy with like a for each in a closure like this. I wonder if I can do this in a I can also do a reduce. I could do a reduce and like put it in a special like a different data structure. Oh, what if I do this? So my spawn is an option. Yeah, so what if I do an option of a structure spawn? You're also option structure spawn. Then here, my spawn. Oh, and then you would. Actually, I don't need to do any of these, do I? I could just say you are a none to begin with, and you are mutable. So then we get into here. If it's mine, my spawn equals, and I want a sum of that. I think this will work. Then I want a sum of this. Now I know that we're going to have our own spawn and another one. So my spawn is actually going to be my spawn dot, and let's just go ahead and unwrap you. Enemy spawn. And unwrap you. Are you okay with that? No? Let's see. No such field. Oh, right, because I haven't created an enemy spawn yet. There we go. Okay, so now you're happy. We don't have this spawns like that. I suppose I could also sort them. That would have been another idea. But okay, so we get our spawns. We store them. We stuff them in here. Okay, great. So now I have my enemies. I have my spawn. I have my enemy spawn. What else? What else do I need to sort of continue on with this? So to sort of rebuild this using this sort of state now. Let my spawn. Okay, so get spawn true. Okay, error getting my spawn. So we have that. My side. So we want to know if we're on the left side or the right side, and there is this entire side in the state. Okay, so let's create that. We got that from utilities side. I'm gonna just put a new one in here. Okay, so we're gonna do a pub my side is a side. All right, so to determine what side we are on, we can do a little bit of logic here after we have my spawn. So if my spawn unwrap dot x, okay, so if this is less than like 50, then we're on the left-hand side. Otherwise, we're on the right-hand side. Okay, and that gives us, this x gives us a U8. So that 50 will be fine. Okay, let my creeps equals get creeps true. Okay, so every time that I spawn, I can actually add my creep to, I can add my creep. Now, if I try to use a creep after it's dead, I probably want to unload it and kill it at that time. So I also don't know exactly what data structure I want to use for this. I could use a map, but I could also use a hash map, which would potentially allow me to store them by ID, and then I can tell um, where they are, or I could just use a like a little ECS system too. All of these are sort of opened up to me because I can keep it up to date as opposed to constantly recreate it over and over and over again. So I'm going to wait until those. Okay, so get enemy spawn, so I have that now. All right, so I need the containers. And I want to get them on the left-hand side. And then you are... I'm not ordering them, which is interesting, but okay, so... I'm going to take this code, cut it out, bring it back here. All right, so these are not just containers. These are going to be my spawn containers. So pub spawn containers. And you're going to be a vec structure container. Okay, so my spawn. Right. I need to unwrap you because you're an option at this point. You're also in a in here, which I don't want to actually move this in. So what if I get let's do this right here. We'll do a let my spawn x now I can just use this. It could also move you into here. And this is going to be my spawn X. Okay, and structure. Okay, everything else, you're upset. Use of move value, my side. Yes. Oh, match my side. I guess I want to clone that in, don't I? Oh, right, because I'm getting, okay. I can block this and do a let my side equals my side. Can I clone you? I did not implement clone in, okay, this state. I wonder if I can implement copy. I wonder if you'd be okay. Because in that case, I don't need to clone this at all. And it'll just copy over. And maybe I can just even do that. Could I go this far? Yeah, okay. Cool. So I don't need I can do that. And now you're happy because you copy in. Okay. Wait, you're something's upset. Use the value my spawn. Okay, so my spawn is cloning. My spawn unwrap. I don't can I just reference that? I don't want to take ownership of it. I want an as ref maybe. Which still gives me that U8. Okay, so now you're happy. No errors. All right, so back to here. Okay, so all my code is going to have to be inside of this state.with, but that should be fine. Okay, so if it's the first tick, oh, we create this empty game state. I don't need to do that anymore, and we save it. So I don't technically need to do anything on ticks is 1 anymore. Okay, so mute game state. Game state load. Don't need to do that. We are fine. Reset enemy IDs. I don't think I need that. Store enemy IDs. So this is where we would be like grabbing our enemies and storing them away and then running something on that. Okay, so run spawner. So what am I doing in run spawner? Right, okay, so I'm saying like, all right, I need these initial collectors, I need anything else like this. I'm kind of thinking that I want to have some kind of queuing system so I can put a like command in there. I don't know if I definitely want to do like a command pattern, but even if I just do like an enum of the different things that I want to do, like create the initial spawner, create this other thing, that then what I could do is I can say like, hey, just create these 3, and just like create, because then you're the initial collector, and we can store them away as the initial collectors. Okay, so if I were to do that, then in my state, let's have a like command queue, which is probably just a simple hub, like commands, orders maybe. You're going to be a vec of. So we have a choice here. If I do the command pattern, where I do the command pattern where I am doing like actual functions that I'm passing in, or struct, probably more of a struct that has like an execute on it, that then I would need to pass in like a box dine, command. If I'm just doing something else and then I match that, I kind of like the idea of doing the command pattern a little bit more, because I think that gives me a little bit more leeway, and like, okay, we're creating the initial I can create like more commands a little bit easier. So then in this case, I almost want to like create a folder for these commands. Would it be Because we wouldn't have a run. Would we have a run spawner now? I don't know if we'd have a run spawner. We might end up just having a I'm gonna create a commands file here just to begin with, just to sort of get something going. Okay, so let's do a vec, and all right, so in commands we're gonna have a hub trait command. You are gonna begin with have an execute, which takes in a. Now I don't know if you should do anything to yourself when you execute. Maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. I don't remember anymore. We'll just do like a reference to the self. You should probably take in a state, but because we're in that ref cell, I think you should take in a ref mute so you can update the state when you do that. So we'll do state comes in as a ref mute state, and I don't know if you need to well, you probably want to return like a status, like a result with self in it. So if we fail, if we like completely and totally fail to do this thing, but we want to rerun it again, I just want just run the command again. Just do it again. Which we could probably clone it and just throw it back in there. So let's just have this be a boolean. I don't have a default for this one. Okay, so now we're going to start with a hub struct. Well, okay, so back to state. You are going to hold a box with a dyn command. You, because that's a vec, everything else is defaults. You're unhappy because I brought this back out. Okay, so this is going to be I want to create a creep, but specifically this command is going to be create a collector creep. So create collector creep command. I don't necessarily know if I need anything in here. Simple command for. Okay, so you're going to implement execute. We're going to take in state when it executes. And let's see what we were doing in here. So spawner, run spawner. Okay, so we have our spawn from the state. So I don't need this. And so we have all that stuff. State, have initial collectors. Say want initial collectors. Okay, so we know we need 3 of them. And I'm just going to take mine and push it to the end. So I do need initial collectors. Let's add those to the state here. So pub initial collectors is a vec of I want creep in here. Now I wonder if I can have like the same creep cloned around and it still works, just like we can do with the structure spawn. My guess is everything is going to work the way we expect it to. What are you upset about? Function cannot return without recursing. Really? Line 60. Oh, this default. It's worried it's going to recurse. Okay, so this is orders. Yeah, let's actually just pull in struct fields. Okay, so orders is I just want a empty vector and an empty vector. Okay, so I don't have to check with this because we're basically just going to say like, hey, one command builds one of these initial collectors and stuffs it into the body. So in that case, we're going to run the spawn creep off of the spawn. Okay, so then we're going to do if let okay. We're going to get the new creep. Do state dot my spawn creep body. I'm going to store this inside of here. Oh, I guess this is where having something like this could come in handy. Do I want to store a little bit of state inside of here? Because then I'll have to set like what the body is. I could put a static in here too. Just for right now, let's just put it in here. Let's do body equals do part. Okay, so we're doing a carry and a part move. That's it. Okay, body, creep, on body. Okay, so the body is going to be a reference to the body. Okay, so we've got this creep. It worked successfully. I can now stuff this in. So we're going to do state dot initial collectors, and we're going to push in the creep. Are you upset because of mismatched types? Expected Boolean. Right, at the end. Okay, so if let okay, I also want to return true. If for some reason this fails, we're going to return false, not an else if. We're just going to return false. Kafgay, hello. How are you doing today? You are upset. Cannot borrow state is mutable. Is not declared as mutable, but you kind of. You kind of are. So mute. All right. So, well, now you're upset. Oh, right. Mute goes on the left-hand side. Keep on forgetting. You're mute here. Oh, and you're not mute here. Oh, I guess you are mute here. Is that the problem? Wait, maybe do go over here. I want mute that. Type. I guess I could put. Maybe I don't want to put the mute ref. I'll let it sort of unwrap it itself. So that okay, fine. State. You will be the an RC ref cell with state inside. and then I'll just sort of grab you out. So you're an immutable. See, ref cell state. Okay. Body is this. Okay, so now to grab this out, this will be state dot borrow, and then we can get my spawn. Do this thing. Spawn creep body. I would like to. I wonder if I can do a borrow mute inside of here. I feel like that's not gonna work. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Let's borrow mute here, and then we can do initial collectors. Yeah, okay. Reference counting for the win. Smart pointers. Okay, so now we do this. So now I have this execute command for creating this creep. So the first thing that we want to do, so here we can check to see if it's the first tick. Okay, so if ticks is equal to 1, so if it's the very first tick, I want to now create 3 commands and put them in here. So we're going to do state dot borrow mute, the initial collectors. No, not initial collectors. Dot orders. We're going to push in. We're going to push in create collector creep command. So these are boxes. So box new you. We'll do that 3 times. Expected 1 argument, found 3. Oh, right. I want to do the push 3 times, like that. Do you return the right thing? You do not. Oh, you don't return. Okay, so push doesn't return that. In push, can I return? If I do that, I could concat. Or I could just be lazy and then also just do this entire thing 3 times, somehow missing the state. That's a decision. But I actually want to see whether or not this works before I go and like make this nicer here. So then we want to run the state, right? It's like we want to run and process the orders. So that's all. If the ticks is 1, we set the state. So then we're gonna process the state. So that would be, I guess, the question now is going to be like, do I do one thing per tick? I think I do like, I just process all the orders this tick, if I can, within a single frame. So we're going to loop through this. So we're going to do state. I probably want to borrow mute. I don't know. State dot borrow. Orders. Let's just get an iterator. I want to actually take out and process them. So I actually want I probably want to do something more like. I wonder if I actually want to put this on state. Like a method on there. Let me feel how that, let me see how that feels. Okay, so if I do a pub function, let's say process orders. Okay, so I want to take an order. So while there are still orders left, so we could just loop forever, or I could do a while. Is there like a do while? There's a while let, but I'm gonna do while self dot orders dot length is actually orders dot is okay while you're not empty. While you're not empty, give me an order. So let order equals self dot orders dot. There's like a take. There's like a I want to actually move you out. Like I want to get you. No, that gives me a slice. There's a pop. What's the pop is the end one, right? So that would be the last order first. I want the first order because I want this to be a queue, not a stack. I can get first. This gives me an option reference. I want to take. Oh, whoa. Do you want to drain the? Oh, maybe it's drain. Drain. Let's see. Removes the specified range from the vector in bulk, returning all removed elements as an iterator. If the iterator is dropped before fully consumed, it drops the remaining removed elements. The returned iterator keeps a mutable borrow. Oh, I think this will work. Okay, so then I don't need this while anymore. Okay, so let's try this. We're going to do self.orders.drain. All right, so removes the specified range from the vector in bulk, returning all removed elements as an iterator. And I want everything. Just give me everything, but this empties out the orders. Which I think I can just do with that, right? Range full. Does that give me everything? An unbounded range. Yeah, give me everything. Okay. All right, so I now have an iterator, so I can do a for each, and I have an order. All right, now this is a Boxstein command, so for each order, I can then execute it. So then if I wonder if I execute it. I wonder if I can still clone it. So if order dot execute, you know, if I actually did like, proper syntax. Okay, so I have order. Okay, there we go. So if order dot execute. Function takes one argument. You need state. Oh, but if we're running you, I have access to this state. I'm in here though, which this might be unhappy. So let's go back to commands and let's figure this out. What if you're not this RC ref cell? What if you were a mutable reference to state? I don't need to borrow anymore. I just run the things. Okay, back to you. Order then self. Do I just do that? Are you happy with that? Order closure requires unique access to self, but it's already borrowed. Right. Okay. So I may not want to do a closure for this one. I may want to. I think there is a way to do a closure pretty easily, but I always forget how to do it exactly. But I could do a for order in. Okay. So if order execute, pass it in self. And do I have to explicitly tell you cannot borrow self as immutable more than once at a time? Right, okay, so herein lies the rub, that I can't necessarily do this again, because I have you borrowed. Processing these things outside of there and then passing in the ref mute probably is the way to go. Okay. Yeah. Let's do that then. So we're gonna process orders in here. So we're gonna do a for order in. So we're gonna borrow mute. So maybe state dot borrow mute orders, and we're gonna drain them of everything. Yeah. Now, if I do that, we have this. Okay, I have the border. If order dot execute. All right, so the state. Now we're back again to. Can I just undo? Can. This is an RC. I don't think that's right either. Can I put you as a full ref mute? You're not unhappy about this. Okay, so I now have. So, okay, so I borrowed mute here, so I need to borrow down here. So that state. Oh, I don't want to stat out this, so let's do borrowed state. Now I have this ref mute, so I don't need. Okay, so you're a borrowed state, orders drain. Okay, so I get that. Now, can I pass this ref mute into here? So this is gonna be a borrowed state. Otherwise, I will just clone this and do the RC, and it'll be fine. Okay, so if you're okay, then I don't really care. You just run. If you're not okay, though, I want to stuff you back in. So we're going to say the... Wonder if this is a terrible idea. Borrowed state dot orders dot push, and in this case, I want to push that same order again, which means I want to clone it. So order dot clone. So come back to here. Can I clone and copy you? Oh, I'm gonna. Okay, so perpetrate command. I think I've done this several times, and I forget how to bind it and say that I also want a trait. Like this command must also come with everything else. That being said, I might be able to in the Dyn do pluses too. You expect this to blow up in runtime? Well, we're gonna find out. Okay, so can I say in state? It's gonna be one of two places, like Dyn command plus clone plus copy. Can I do that? Only auto traits can be used as additional traits. Oh, only auto traits. So can I say copy? No. Or isn't copy an auto trait if I have clone, but maybe just be... Okay. Fine. Okay. So then what I need to do is come back to command, and I need to say like trait command requires copy. Or clone at the very least, which I have done, but I forgot what repo I did this in. Asitsu, hello. Can I search all my repos in here? I want a hub trait something. This organization. Just go to code. Command clone. I vaguely remember it's a little bit more. It's maybe a little bit more. Oh, we used debug for it. Oh, here. This is it. So pub trait life system where self standard format debug. This is it. So I need a where self and then the thing. So where self, is it just a single colon? It is. And then I want clone. So you are upset because clone is not satisfied. Derive clone. The trait commands cannot be made into an object. For a trait to be object taken, building a V table. Okay, so so it doesn't like this. So you say I need like Dyn clone? Never heard of that. I don't think that exists. Or is that like a nightly only thing? That's why you said uh-oh, indeed. Okay, so we're okay still? All right, so let's all right, so we could just make this manual. We could just make this more of a manual thing. So if I just do you are like why exactly? Oh, basically it just says cannot be made into an object. So I can't make you clone. So because of that, let's do like duplicate. So if I have like a function duplicate, or like if I manually function clone here, I don't need to go into state again. And you're going to return a self, like an owned self. Okay, so for this command, we have this execute. What will clone output to make it object safe? Well, in this case, I can't return self. Why can't I? Are you still upset? Oh, I need you to not have clone. Consider moving clone to another trait. Oh. Well, fine. I can't return like a self. Oh, it wouldn't be a self, right? I would need to return. Oh, I need to return something that. Oh. Yeah. Hold on. Easy. I don't return a self. What am I thinking? I return a box. I return a box. What? You don't come in? A box with a design command. I guess you don't need to bring in box. It's already in here. That's nice. All right, so this is a box design command. Well, this is fun, but our power just went out, which gives me not very long before my UPS dies. So, because this is, I got the lights still on the this. I've got internet on it, and I've got all my computers on this UPS. So it's not gonna last for very long. It claims 20 minutes. I don't know how much I believe that. So if it doesn't come back online very shortly, then I guess the stream may be done very quickly. So anyways, just a heads up, in the case that I just suddenly exit out of here, that's what's going on. All right. First of all, change the output type to match the trait. Okay, so hold on. Let's just reset you. I'm hoping that everything will just be fine and everything will be good. All right, so we have you. Plus, I get the nice beeping every once in a while, which I don't know if you can hear. Let's see. All this stuff is still working, so that's fun. I'm actually surprised. It still says, oh, it's now around 19 minutes. So we'll see how long this lasts. All right, so clone. What am I doing with clone? I want to take myself. Oh, you can hear the beeping? All right, perfect. Well, that is part of the stream now. Yes, to let you know that I still have no electricity, but a really big light shining in my face still, which feels different when there's no electricity. Okay, so clone. And right, so in this case, it's just this. So I just want to return a box new. That. So now back to you. Okay, so for order in borrowed state, you need to be mutable. Execute. Okay, borrowed state. Right. Okay. So cannot move out of borrowed state because it is borrowed here, I believe, right? So instead of this, let's do the entire thing where we just clone the RC ref cell and pass that in, which is, I mean, it's annoying, but it's not that bad. So for you all, this is going to be an RC ref cell state inside. And then the only real difference here is that I need a, for you, it's just a state that's spawn, create the body. So I can borrow this to get the immutable state. Then I need a, so I do a let, I wonder if I could just do this all in one line here. I can also like grab this out and push this in here. That might be best. Let's do that. Let's do let creep equals if let creep. Okay, so then you are a borrow my spawn. Okay, so we did this thing. I don't want to do that. I just want to return the creep. Otherwise, we return a false. So I have this creep here. Now I can do a state dot borrow mute. We'll do the initial collectors, push the creep in there, and then return true. So just making things work here a little bit nicer. Okay, so execute. Now this is going to be our state. We can clone you. All right, so then if not this, I cannot borrow. Okay, that's fine. Because what we can do is do our state, borrow mute, get the orders, push, and then clone the order in. So that actually should be fine now. So we should be creating 3 of these. It won't run them, like it won't actually do anything with it. But I believe it will run it. So I kind of want to try this because we're down, my low number that it's sort of jumping all around to is now 14 minutes. So, and I don't even hear the clicking of it trying to come back. So let's find out because this might be the last thing that we do. Is it already working? Unreachable. Well, great. Okay, so I have some kind of unwrap somewhere that's causing a problem. So that's fun. Okay, so we can do the warn somewhere. But where do we do an unwrap? We don't do any in here. All the unwrap is happening right now is in state. And we're doing a bunch of unwraps here when it's trying to find the structure spawn. I wonder if... Oh, I'm borrowing the state mutably twice. I'm also borrowing the state mutably twice here. That's very true. Which we don't get good error messages for, reasons. So... If I do this... Okay, so... Borrowed state. Okay, so borrow mute. I kind of want to now... Okay, so what I probably want to do is not filter this, but maybe map this. Oh, this is what you were talking about, blowing up on runtime. Okay. That makes sense. So what we can do is map through the orders drain thing and then create a like failed orders. So what if we do this? Failed orders equals, so we're going to do, now when I run you, okay, so let's do this not higher order to begin with. So I'll just mute you and make you a vector. Just so this is easier in my brain. So then we're going to do, we're going to get the drain. Okay, so I can also create, this is an iterator. Okay, so for order in borrowed state orders, I wonder if I do that all at once, like just separately out, it would be fine. So field orders, if I also do that orders equals, so let's do state, borrow mute, orders drain dot. If I do that, and then I'm done with this. Yes, I know. Type annotations needed. Okay, so one at a time. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to try to execute them. And we're going to get this, right? So now failed orders is going to be equal to, we do orders map. We can order. And I want to order dot execute. And I want to clone in the RC ref cell, which I don't know if I can do in here. Because it's inside of this closure. Now if I do a move, and I don't think that's gonna work. But let's try it. I want state that clone. And if not this, oh, hello stacking. No, so yes, we're out of power here. You do a mem swap instead of draining. I haven't done that before. That could be fun. I don't know if I have 10 minutes to learn that though. So that might be a, hey, while I'm, maybe I head out to a cafe or something after this and just continue working on this on my own without streaming. Because this is fun. Okay, so let's see. I don't have time to dilly-dally around. All right, so we do this, order, execute, same. Okay, so if not that, I want to return a, no, I want to return a, a sum with the order dot clone. Otherwise, oh, okay, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I think you're right. So let's go back to this method. Let's just do an empty vector like this, and let's do a for order in orders. I can take ownership of this here, and this is fine, right? So then Boxstein command. So I'm gonna do a if not order dot execute, pass it in state dot clone. Then I want to failed orders dot push order dot clone, like that. You're upset. Yeah, I'm not well, I sort of stopped doing that. So, oh, I don't know how far back. You're probably getting farther back behind. So sorry about that. Temporary value is freed at the end. Consider using the let binding to create a longer lived value. Oh, it wants me to do this up here. So let borrowed state equals state dot borrow mute. Borrowed state You need to be mutable. So far, so happy. So now I have a bunch of failed orders in here. And then I want to go through these failed orders and stuff them back into here. So then we're going to do for failed order in or swap orders with an empty vac. Oh, these are great ideas that I have less than 8 minutes now to get this working. So I will try these all later off stream probably. So okay, so for failed order in failed orders, I'm going to now stuff these back in, which uses memswap. Oh, interesting. Okay, nice. So then failed orders. We're gonna do a state dot borrow mute dot orders dot push failed order. Are you happy? Okay, it ran. Let's see if this runs. If power comes, well, I can still. Probably what's going to happen is I'm going to head out to a just got a text message saying that they're aware of the outage and they will let me know within an hour. I still got an unreachable. Now it is creating these still, which is interesting. So I actually wonder. Oh, it created one. And it didn't create any more. But it created one of these. Out of curiosity, if I tell the command be a part, okay, you're part carry, part move. I don't know, add in a part attack. Just because. So you're compiled. I'm 6 minutes now. I'm curious whether or not that first order is working. No, I have 2 moves and a carry. Two moves and a carry was not what I had before. So actually, I don't know what's going on anymore. Oh, spawn creep. Oh, that's this one. Wait, what did I do? This was just an example. Oh, this was just an example. I don't want to do any of this stuff. If ticks is this, create those 3 orders, and then process them here. My guess is none of them are going to process, and my error is either in the initialization. Yeah, my error is probably in the initialization code, or I have this error in here. If I don't do this, four minutes. It's looking unlikely power is going to be coming back on for me. I'm actually pleasantly surprised this UPS is working out quite as well as it has. This is the first time it's been streaming while it's doing. Okay, now it's very upset at me. And also Screeps decided to not run. Cool. So I think this is gonna be it. So I don't know if I can turn off the noise. Oh, it is in the processing. Okay, well I don't know how to turn that off. So sorry everybody for the shorter stream. I'm gonna do an emergency stream shutdown, a true emergency stream shutdown now. I will be back tomorrow morning, assuming I have power. And yeah, so I will see you next time, whenever that is. Bye.